You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark Coughlin. Well, I said with your host, Mark Coughlin, hoping that would somehow summon Mark Coughlin to his show. But it looks like I'm going to be your temporary host today, which was completely not how I thought this was going to go, but that's okay. Oh, we have a note from Mark. Let's see what he says. All right, so he is here, but he's having problems getting in the room.
Maybe he came in as we jumped to the library from the backstage.
All right, there's Mr. Coughlin joining us.
Hello,
right
everybody.
On time. Take her away, Mark. Number 430 is in your hands.
Thank you so much. Is Casey with us or not?
Yes.
He's not really.
Well, I am
But we can't hear him. Okay.
You can't hear me?
You're quiet and have no camera.
Oh, hold on. I fixed the audio. Camera on.
Well, let's take a look at what we've got in store today. The first story of the day, of course, is the Casey story, of course.
Oh yeah, we can. While Casey's getting his camera figured out, how about I do the new Model 3 features?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so this comes to us from Not a Tesla App, written by Karan Singh, and it's titled Tesla Model 3 with bumper camera and stock coming soon, according to a new document. So there's been a recent filing with the European Union. The Model 3 is slated for a minor refresh that will add a couple of long requested items, the front bumper camera and the turn stock indicator. So this will bring the 3 in line with the Juniper Y refresh. And in my opinion, this is a good change. I think they should only go to stockless once they have steer-by-wire. And today, that means only in the Cybertruck. And I have test-driven the Cybertruck, and it's easy to use there because you're not turning the wheel that much. And so like going through a roundabout or something else, you're not going to be fumbling for where the buttons are. So these updates are expected to begin rolling out sometime in Q4, most likely, although we don't have an exact date. And we also don't know exactly where they're going to appear first. Often things like this appear in China first, but given the source of this is EU paperwork, and maybe Berlin will be the one to implement it first this time. As we know from some comments that Lars has made, the front bumper camera is not used by FSD at all. It's strictly for the driver. It's good for parking or tight spots. And I know that in 2023, when I bought our Y, I really wanted the front camera. And they even talked about how there are hookups for it, but it's not there. And that I was fingers crossed for a retrofit. And now a year and a half later, 2 years later, I'm not missing it. The overhead view you get when you're parking that shows the parking spot is more than enough. And so if they did do a retrofit, I probably wouldn't do it now. But it is nice that they're listening to owners and potential buyers. And the stock is something that people have muscle memory for it. They want it. And they're going to put it back. So that's great.
Yeah, so that's going to be back into the roundhouse of the Model 3. Model Y obviously already has it. But we had said, especially when the photos leaked early days of the refreshed Model 3, there were photos on the Tesla website of it having a front bumper cam, but yet it was released in North America without it and elsewhere without it. So
Right, and those pictures weren't on their website for very long.
Yeah.
Once the internet started talking about it, the pictures disappeared and then came back with a little smudge spot there.
That was it. They were gone.
Yeah.
So that's that's the power of the internet. You start talking about something that's there, and all of a sudden they go, "Oh my gosh, we left the photo up. Someone get rid of it now."
Yeah, nothing gets by the Quad Squad, or I don't know what you would call the fandom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Hey, there's Casey's camera working.
starting to, anyways. It's got a bit of a.
I spoke too soon, didn't I?
Process.
Yeah, we got one frame.
Yeah, but he's on his way. It is interesting to see that that is now going to be coming out, and as Patrick mentioned, I think it is a good idea. It's something that they should continue with going forward with all the models, and obviously, if they're retrofitting the Model 3, most likely that bumper cam will be a part of every project going forward. So.
Yeah, and it made no sense to me that the S and X lost the stock first. These are their luxury vehicles. If you're going to have extra features in anything, that should be the place that you have those.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like I said, if they went to steer-by-wire, fine. That'd be great. But they haven't done that in the S and X yet.
And actually, as you mentioned, the S and the X is probably the next place they should go with steer-by-wire. Because those are the luxury vehicles. They should improve them on those in smaller volumes, get them all locked down, and then move them to the others.
Right. And I think it happened the way it did because they did not want to risk the Model Y sales dropping. The Model Y is their big seller. People are used to stocks. They didn't want to take that risk there, although they were willing to do that with the 3. So... and the other lower volume vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see as that rolls along, and we'll see which continent gets us first. But yeah, my bet's on Shanghai too.
Yeah.
We shall see. Next story I want to talk a little bit about, which is Tesla entering another country. So, and this is only the second country in that continent. So this, of course, we're talking about South America. And Tesla has put out job openings for sales associates, service associates, and others for Colombia, South America. So this is new. They're obviously already introduced into Chile in South America. But this is now the second country in South America that they're going to be entering into. So the job postings kind of make it clear that that's probably what's going to happen next. And of course, the superchargers will follow as well. As we've already seen in Chile, a few of them have opened up. And this will be great for their entry into South America. South America is primed for EVs. And Tesla should be there, and it looks like they're now starting to move on that. So Chile wasn't just a one-off. It was the first country in South America they were able to get in front of. So Colombia, which is, I believe my geography says they're at the northern part of South America.
Correct.
Up closer to Brazil than what Chile is.
Yep, right next to Venezuela. So
they're having, it'll be interesting to see which city they're going to hit, probably the major capital city.
Yeah, Bogota.
They did in Chile. So this will be something. But what I'm really interested in is the actual supercharger network, which in Chile hasn't really expanded beyond the couple that have been put in place into the major cities. But certainly, if you're going to start blanketing South America, you're going to have to cover the major routes as well. So
yes,
it will be interesting to see how the supercharger network unfolds in South America, because right now it's fairly wide open for places to put them. Obviously, you're going to follow the main thoroughfare, but it will be interesting to see north to south how that supercharger network starts to roll out, and what happens in the two particular countries that they're now based in. So Chile being one, and based on these job opportunities, looks like Colombia will be the second.
Right. And for Supercharger network, that puts Peru, that sits between the two, as there should be their next destination. If you want to build your Supercharger network.
It should roll right through the middle of that country, right? Like
exactly.
To link the other two together.
Right. Hey, there he is.
I don't know what's up with the computer. Something snatched my my input, and if I restarted it without joining somewhere else, it would have kicked you guys off.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Don't close the room in the middle of the show. Thank you.
So I had audio for a minute, and then I lost it.
Well, you've got it.
What story are we on
now? So now it's your turn for the top story of the day, which of course is the new Supercharger story.
V4 native over in it's going to be in California. It is. I'm looking for the name of the town, and I don't have it on my screen anymore because again the mouse. But these are the first V4 native, and Tesla didn't help us out by calling everything with the V4 dispenser V4 Supercharger opening now, because now it loses all punch when they open up their first 500 kilowatt supercharger in the world.
It's Campbell, California. I don't know where that is.
Campbell, California. There we go. That's right. And
I know where Colombia is, but not Campbell, California.
Right. And so we get 500 kilowatts, up to 500 kilowatts of charging per stall. Right now, only the Cybertruck can do that from Tesla's fleet, but that also would bring us 1,000 volts charging, and that means that the Hyundais and Lucids of the world can enjoy it as well, because those two have been rather held back because of the their architecture was figuring that they'd be showing up to Electrify Americas all the time, and that they would always be 1,000 volts. But
and Campbell is
even on Electrify Americas,
just southwest of San Jose.
Right, I see that now. Yeah, it's just north of Los Gatos. Yeah, so it's really just a suburb of San Jose.
Yeah,
I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate me saying that, but it's true.
well, just a suburb could be bigger than like every
I'm
all
sure
of
they
Wyoming.
won't like this, but it's true.
Like just a suburb could be bigger than Wyoming for all we know. We'd have to look it up to be sure. But this is exciting stuff, and this is going to allow several things here from not just faster supercharging, it'll allow cheaper and faster rollouts of supercharging, because we've gone from 2 stalls per cabinet to 4 stalls per cabinet, and now we're sitting at 8 stalls per cabinet, and it doesn't have any of the DC cross busing and such that we had with the V3.
Mm-hmm.
So, simpler is always a good thing, and we expect that some of these changes are going to be some of the stuff we saw in the Mega Pack.
I finally watched V3. Brian's Futuraza's when you guys were both on there talking about it. And Mark, I want to say you nailed it when you were talking about, oh yeah, they're going to simplify hookup, and they're like, oh, I don't think it'll be that, and you were like, oh yeah, it was. That was great to see. So this is exactly what we expect from Tesla, right? This is their 4th version, and every version is getting better. And there were even some interim steps when they knew this is the vision to get there, but they needed to make it work with other stuff that they had or the existing architectures and whatever. And now they're finally realizing that full V4 vision. And that doesn't mean they'll stop, but it's great to see the progress, that they can put them in faster, they can put them in more affordably. They don't have to trench as much, all these other things that they've improved.
Yeah,
it's going to be much
like reducing the hardware cabinets. Like that's a bonus. Like not because that's going to lower the overall cost of these superchargers already, which they're already hyper competitive compared to others. Being able to knock the price down even further is just going to increase Tesla's lead when it comes to supercharging networks.
Right.
Yeah, and so the it's going to be very much like the AI hardware, where they're just going to keep iterating. So while V4 is the latest and greatest, that doesn't mean that V5 isn't already entering trial production to see what they can do with it. Because yes, it's 1.2 megawatts to the semi and 500 kilowatts to the Cybertrucks and others. But they're not done. It would be a little weird for them to just, all right, this is good enough, and we're gonna leave it, just like all the legacies ever do. This 1971 frame is gonna be perfect for the next 50 years on our taxis of these cars.
Yeah, and that was the problem with a lot of the compliance cars, was they just took existing vehicles, pull out the gas drivetrain, and try to shove batteries in motors in whatever space they could find. That's not how you design an efficient vehicle.
For sure. And this is something that Tesla does in all its other endeavors. So I would not be surprised if there's a V5 already drawn up and there's a V6 somewhere on a drawing board as they try to figure out what they can do better based on their experience with V3.5 and V4 currently. So that would not be surprising at all.
So I'm curious, now that this is out, is the wireless stuff V4 or something else? We do already know that it's not part of Cybertruck anymore, but
I
Cybertruck's
have a
gonna
feeling
get it,
it's something
and
completely different. I have a feeling that the wireless charging that they're going to use for Cybercab is going to be something different completely. Like, obviously, they're going to have special stalls because the wireless hardware has to be hooked up in there. But I have a feeling that on the smaller battery that's in the Cybercabs, that they're not going to require the big juice that comes from the V4. I think they're going to be able to get by with V2 or V3 power.
With the power levels, yes.
My guess is that the equipment, maybe the cabinets, are a little bit different as well. So they'll be hooked up to the wireless charger pads, and it will be something that is built from the ground up, separate, using older components. It would be my guess. There'll be new components. It's just that I think they'll be reusing what they've used in the past because the power draw is not near as large as they need for, say, the V4s.
I just praised Mark on his prediction ability for Futuraza, so I'm reluctant to say I don't agree with you, because you're always right. So, but what if they instead use the current the new V4 cabinet, but instead of it being able to support 8 stalls, it could support 16?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
and that way they're using the same hardware. They get the economies of scale out of it. They don't have to have 2 completely separate designs.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
It makes sense dollar-wise for sure. But I have a feeling that that Tesla is going to be they will eventually get into that thing. But I think they're going to have to do a few hurdles and jumps at the beginning to get used to the wireless charging would be my guess.
Oh yeah.
And I think there'll be a couple of certainly a couple of hardware iterations when it comes to the wireless. Because this will be their first forte into it. And typically, their first forte is just the beginning. They're going to have to run into some issues, some hurdles that they have to overcome, and that requires new hardware, as it does with almost everything they make.
Yeah. And it's nice to see EV charging coming full circle. My 1998 S10 electric was an induction wireless charger. you actually slid the paddle in, but there was no metallic contact, which meant they actually had a demo of this magnet charger in a fish tank where they plugged it in underwater and showed it working.
Yeah, because it wouldn't need it. Yeah, exactly.
Right, because it's induction. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Yeah.
So, Casey, clarify for everyone about the 30% charge faster. What vehicle will charge 30% faster, and do any others qualify?
So the 30% faster, I thought, was kind of a crummy number to use. So you're going to be able to charge right now today at 325 kilowatts on some V3 pluses with Cybertruck. So you'll be able to go to 500 kilowatts from there. versus 250, which is what you can kind of guarantee you'll see if you pull up to a V3 or a V4 and you haven't found I'm sorry, V3 plus, and you haven't found one of the islanded V2s that are just hanging out around there, or one of the very few V1s,
Yeah.
or V2s in V1 hardware, or V2s in V1 cladding, I should say. It is cladding because it's metal.
Right.
And so that's where they're coming about the 30%, and that's similar to how Tesla is calling everything with the long cable superchargers a V4, which isn't accurate, because until this thing opens up, they're all V3 pluses.
So really, with
The only thing
Patrick's
is get short cable or long cable.
with Patrick's newer Y, if he was able to get to a
Mhm.
new V3 or V4 charger, he's not going to get a faster
Mhm.
charger at these chargers at all.
No, he's going to be capped at the 250 because that's what his hardware is capable of. Although,
Right.
because his is new, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them say, "Oh yeah, by the way, every car made in the last 18 months can actually do 300 kilowatts on a real V4 station."
Right. They just
Right.
I
haven't
don't know why I
unlocked
couldn't
it
do
yet.
it on a V3 plus, but yeah. Oh,
It's-
you know
it's
what?
also-
I do know why I couldn't do it on a V3 plus. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that even if the current vehicles can't utilize all this, it's nice that they actually get ahead of the vehicle deployment with these, so they're future-proofing those stations a lot. And then anytime you can get a vehicle in, get it charged, get it out, that allows that spot to have better utilization and shorter queues and more satisfied customers, not getting angry that they had to wait. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea to get ahead of the vehicles if you can, because you don't want to every time you upgrade the cars, you don't have to go out and change the entire network across the world. I mean, so it's a great idea to get a little bit, even if the current vehicles can't use all 500 kilowatts. So let's deploy it anyway.
Yeah.
Eventually, we will get there.
Exactly, and you saw that with legacies. I'm pointing at myself here, but the camera's weird. So mine is a performance. So they felt they had to give me a little something extra, and they did. When I bought the car, the fastest you could charge was I want to say it was 200 kilowatts. Yeah, because then we got the V3, and then they raised it to 250, but not straight away with the V3. And yeah, so it was 150 when I bought the car. 150 was the max,
Mm-hmm.
and then they gave us the 250 with the V3s, and then they increased mine to the most I've ever seen it pull was in the 180 kilowatts, and it doesn't hold it for very long. But basically, what it does is it goes as long as it can, and then when it heats up, it's like, all right, taps out, and
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can only do that from 20%. Like if I start lower, it's the battery's too low to take all the charge. If I start
Mhm.
higher, it's too late to put all that juice in the battery. So I can get 180-ish, 180, 185, 175 at 20% state charge. And
Right. People often talk about
does
the
make things
peak, but it's the whole curve that matters, right? You want to maximize
Yeah,
the area under
it
the
is.
curve. Yeah, so being able to stay at a high rate for a longer period is helpful. I was excited when I saw that my vehicle was charging at 1,000 miles an hour. I was just like, that is awesome.
It is. It
But
totally
then I
is.
started worrying that my
And
battery might be getting some wear and tear. Let's go find a L2 and just charge slower.
I think it should be fine, because what killed my battery wasn't the fast charging. It was the architecture, the BMS boards and the sense the sense leads had corroded because of condensation from driving in hot cold, and it kept getting below the dew point, and the water would settle in, and water does what water does when it's near electricity and metal.
Yeah, and corrodes.
And
of course, the original Model S's, their battery packs weren't as not solid, but sealed. As the 3s and Ys.
And I think that's what killed my Model S battery too. But both of them came under warranty, and should they not have been under warranty, and if they had offered to send it back and repair it and bring it back, it would have been just the boards, and the sense leads, not the cells. The cells were still totally healthy, which was cool. But so what I think we'll see with this is they might do the same thing and say, hey, this new charging helps these new cars get in and out quickly. And I see that. I come in and a Model 3 of any generation rolls through and it's in and out in like 15 minutes, and I'm there for 20, 25 minutes, and then they're gone, as if it was enough, because it is. And so what I expect we'll start to see is you'll have Cybertruck and not Cybercab, but Model Next. And then as they go back and update the existing fleet, they'll all start to look like the Model 3s look like to me, where it's like, oh, I've been here for a minute. Like there's been 3 cars come through. I'm still here.
Yep.
But because of the rate that the fleet grows at, and when you look at what is his target, 20 million for the next package?
Yes, that is the vehicle.
Yes.
I don't know how many they are. So that was 20 million vehicles total sold. So that goes all the way back to
total,
the
okay.
Yeah. So that's
not as
20 million in 1 year.
Then.
Yeah, at 2 million a year, you're going to get there eventually. So that one is a done deal.
You will.
Obviously, they won't stay at 2 million, but
fresh.
Right.
If it was 20 million fresh, then it would definitely make all of our older existing models easy for the system to absorb. But then it's not just us, though. We've also got everybody else who's joined the next coalition.
True.
And as their faster cars come in, that means you don't have to build 3 more stalls at every station, right? So,
yeah.
And then that'll add up.
So this site in Campbell, California, is currently under construction. It'll be interesting to see if they're building a few of them at the same time, or if it's just one as a test site to start with. But I would imagine, as we saw with the V3.5s, that a few of them are going to pop up under construction as the others did. So, and then of course the other question is, will V3.5s be able to be converted to V4 completely without too much muss and fuss?
They'll have to change out the cabinets to do that. Yeah.
So
unless it's like Starlink Mini, where they
it's not just some dip switches on the board that have to be flicked.
Right. And not the mini dish on the consumer side, but the mini satellite up in space. The if they can change some of the brains out and then it's just physically bigger than it needs to be, I guess they could do that. But typically, it's not the way they would do the upgrades. As we saw, Germany's already, there are no short cable superchargers in Germany. They're all not necessarily V3 pluses, but I don't know that the V4 dispenser connects to a V2 supercharger. So I would be comfortable saying they're probably all V3 pluses in Germany at this point, since they are all long cables.
Yeah.
Via this new dispenser. And
well,
so what you'll do is just like in the past, you switch.
Go ahead, Casey.
Just like in the past, you'll switch out the cabinet and then plug everything into it, and you'll be fine. And that'll be interesting because since Giga Buffalo makes all the superchargers, any of the retrofits would basically be what you would use at the custom sites. And you'd switch out the 2 cabinets for the one, and then plug everything into it. And I wonder, I don't know how much of a priority that would be, because if they can crank out, 200 prefab sites a day and get them on the road, shipping to wherever they're going around the world, versus, they use that many cores to retrofit. I think they would probably still be in the mode where, unless something's wrong with the site, they're going to want to go for more coverage than, oh, well, this one is slow, let's change it out. Unless, hey, this one is so slow, we need to upgrade it, and it's going to cost us, $4 million, but this upgrade will only cost us $2 million. Let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah, makes it an easy choice, for sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how to, on supercharge.info, find just the V4 stations, and I'm struggling.
They do have a filter, but I don't believe they've added strictly V4s to it.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
So they probably, or they have it labeled as V4, and they're including V3.5s in that.
Yeah, the 350 kilowatt instead of just the 500.
Yeah. So they haven't separated it yet, but now that V4 is officially under construction, hopefully they will make that modification.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, here's a power filter. You can say 325 or greater. That's the only thing they have now.
Yeah. So very good. Casey, you want to give us an audio check? Nope, no audio.
Uh-oh, we lost Casey.
we got his video and no audio. Okay. Luckily, he finished the story. So now we can work on that and we can go take a look at the next story.
I was muted. Check,
okay, there you go.
There we go. We can hear you. You're a little quiet.
A little quiet,
want
but you're
the
there.
Stereo echo, so I had muted them both, and apparently I did it wrong.
Yeah, you're way quiet. So work on that. And as you do, I'm going to break into our next story, and that is about the IRS in the U.S. making a slight modification when it comes to the $7,500 EV credit, which is sunsetting in about, 6 days. It turns out that you can actually still order the vehicle, get into the contract of purchase, and it's still good if your order has been signed by September 30th before end of day.
Right. That's true for purchases, but not for leases. Leases still have to have delivery taken by the 30th.
Right. So if there was some reason that you were sitting on the fence and decided to ignore our warnings, which we've been trumpeting for over a month, you still have one slim chance to move on this. And that, of course, is get going now. Even leave this podcast, just go, because you need all the time you can get. But that is the IRS has made that modification or that clarification about purchases that you can get into the contract, order the vehicle, sign the contract that you're purchasing it, and then you can get it still the $7,500 credit, even if you take delivery after the 30th. But as Patrick mentioned, that does not apply to leases.
Right. And you should always assume that this loophole might get closed later. Don't count on it. If you can take delivery by the 30th, that's the safest way. But tax laws should apply for a calendar year. So if you take delivery in this calendar year, you should be eligible to get it as long as you met the other requirements. So, but again, I wouldn't count on that. And when we first heard about how this was changed under the OBBA, that I was not happy with him putting it at the end of Q3. That made no sense. It should have at least been all of this year. But whatever, it is what it is, and we have to deal with it. Yeah.
So with that said, again, as we enter the new, I guess, purchase of the fourth quarter, a lot of things are in the air. We really don't know how sales are going to go because, of course, we've got a lot of people that got their ducks in order and took the delivery early or into the third quarter so they could apply for that credit so they could still get it. So now we're going to have an influx that happened in that particular time period. And we've got people that are looking at the fourth quarter or maybe weren't really involved in I was going to get a Tesla until the fourth quarter happened. That could certainly happen, but I would think that that's going to negatively impact sales in fourth quarter because there's so many people knew about this and got on the train while it was still at the station.
Right. Pull forward of demand.
Yeah, that's what's going to do. But I think that this is going to look like Europe, where once people realize that the programs aren't coming back, at least until political sea change, then it'll go back to the normal levels of, hey, this thing still is cheaper to operate and easier to insure and safer, et cetera, et cetera. So the EVs will be come right back as soon as this cash for clunker style market shakeup is complete. And I'm not saying that it's as bad as the cash for clunker effect. It's just like you mentioned, the pull forward is there.
Yeah,
and I don't know that every manufacturer has this because, like you mentioned, with the leases, they don't qualify for a second chance, and but they do with Tesla. So I don't know if Tesla is just doing the part where the manufacturer can give it to you and just holding it longer as an incentive, or if if we had heard some of the politicians talking about they were going to try and make this a little less jarring than it ended up being, it could be that as well. So just like we were saying before, don't count on any of these last minute things. If your manufacturer's not willing to contract that with you. So if you had your eye on a Tesla and something for your spouse that wasn't a Tesla, then make sure that other one's here by the 30th.
Yeah, same rules apply regardless of the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm. Or if it's
and we had here in Canada the push at our end. We had nothing to do with a $7,500 federal U.S. credit, but here at the end of the quarter, Tesla was offering the ability to, if you were buying a new Model 3 from inventory, that you could pick up free supercharging for life on the vehicle if you were buying a Model 3 that's already here in inventory. And the other choice that they added on a couple days later was you could forego the supercharging and take $5,000 off the price of the car. Mm-hmm. So again, we've got the same end date of September 30th. So there are a number of Model 3 still available here in Canada that are up for that particular offer. But it is until the 30th, and I believe you have to sign the contract here in order to comply with that. So, but those are Tesla offers that they're giving. So, right. So they will most likely honor the sign by September 30th as opposed to take possession. But again, if you have the ability, get the car and avoid all the in-between stuff.
Less chance for stuff to go wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm really
and I still
excited.
Stand by the.
Go ahead, Casey.
I still stand by the get your due bill done later. Just make sure that it shows that you own the car, unless you're using this whole when it gets here deal. And I've heard others. I haven't checked to see how it's worded, but apparently that even qualifies for if you've ordered and committed to the car now and you don't pick it up till January. So then, but the thing with January is it's going to affect next year's taxes. So if you're using that and you qualify this year, but you don't next year, you might want to push them to make sure that that they drop it before New Year's. That way you can can take advantage of it, or vice versa. Like, hey, you can put me at the back of the line. Blah, blah. But as we've seen with Tesla, as they get to these pushes, like we saw with Patrick, just one little hiccup with the bank cutting the check with the right name or something like that, and they're trying to sell your car to somebody else. So it's kind of one-sided on the way they're willing to push those around for you sometimes, if you're near the end of the quarter or the end of the year.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to sign something now and have delivery next year. Then you're really pushing their luck. The IRS might give you some leeway, but putting it in 2026, I don't think that's going to fly with them.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm excited about is, and we'll know next week maybe, is what is Tesla going to start offering in Q4? So after this federal incentive is gone in the U.S., are they going to drop prices? Are they going to have the model next? Are they going to do something else? I mean, so I expect there'll be a lot of changes over the next 2 weeks after that. So the first couple weeks of October, we can see some interesting Tesla news, and we'll be here to talk about it because there's never a boring week following Tesla.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And there was some spattering about software spotted in an update that kind of led the group examining it to say that this is for the model next. It's the to 2.5 or whatever the Model Y that is a little bit
price
cheaper.
Reduced.
Yeah. So
metal roof and instead of glass and a whole bunch of other things.
So the software was pointing at that already. So and we had Tesla had said that they're late on introducing this vehicle, and we know why they're late because they're waiting for the September 30th date to pass. So they're not upsetting any apple carts of people wanting to get the current car at the current price and get it out before the quarter's over. So they're smart to keep their mouths pretty well shut until that offer is off the table.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I don't know how much cheaper it's going to be, but if you can get the vehicle now with all the bells and whistles and get $7,500 off, that sounds like I would still prefer that compared to something that's, even if it's $10,000 cheaper, but they've stripped out a lot of cool stuff
Everything.
that I would want. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're sitting in that second row in the Y and just looking up, that is such a great viewing spot. It's almost as good as the front row in the X. So I mean, yeah, I mean, you'll lose that, but that's okay. If it gets you in the vehicle and it's what you can afford, then more power to you. Go for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, picture what they did with the rear-wheel drive Cybertruck for this thing. Green suspects that they're actually stockpiling this now based on the way the firmware is looking. Like this is just too done, too polished for them to not be at least dumping these out of the factory as is. But one thing that he came up with that I found interesting was he says that there's no TPMS, and
yeah,
that's a violation of FMVSS, and as we've seen them do whole recalls for the camera taking an extra quarter second to start up because of FMVSS. I'm wondering if they didn't go for another solution for that, like they did with the tire wear is calculated based on wheel rotations and a couple of other cues that the car has. So I'm wondering if it's something like that, or if these ones with the TPMS completely missing are for the markets that don't require one, so they can save the extra, was it $20, $40 per corner per car, and then the rest of them will have a more normal TPMS. So we also remember when they went Bluetooth instead of the custom radios to do TPMS, and that saved them some money too, right there. And you found that you could get TPMS sensors on a Tesla, the new ones, way cheaper than you could on not just other cars, but also on the older Teslas as well.
Yeah, it reminds me of the HomeLink when they stopped doing that. They said, "Oh, we'll do Wi-Fi." Well, we don't have to pay HomeLink all this licensing fees.
You can pay it. It's only going to be $100 for the lifetime, or so they say. So what I did is I installed a Rat GDO on my garage, and then keep it up to date, keep it locked out. But that's just me. You take something that's been free for 15 years, and you all of a sudden start trying to charge me for it. Nah.
Yep. That's something that will not fly with many people. But that's
right. They didn't add any features.
Yeah.
They just made it work on all your cars. But that was I don't know if that was a HomeLink thing. I think that was a Tesla thing, letting it work on all your cars for the one subscription. And I don't know. So this will be interesting. So they've been saying, no glass roof, no glass roof. I am pretty convinced it's a glass roof of a different variety of glass than what the current cars are.
Plexiglass.
And then they're just it's going to be safe. And they're just shoving the headliner up on there, right? Because it is such a non-Tesla quality glass. And oh, by the way, we got to make it a penalty box somehow. And also, keep the noise down. So a headliner would do that. Versus, if you have like just an opaque piece of glass there, and people like that's glass. Why can't I see through it? What the heck, Tesla? but maybe it's got such a high failure rate, or not failure rate, but just defect rate, where you don't want that glass to be clear because it would look like trash. And so they just paint it black at the factory.
Like in The Martian.
Could be what, like in The Martian?
It's a tarp, like in The Martian.
Oh, a tarp.
You expect a man to go into space under a tarp? Oh, we're just getting to the bad part.
Right.
Maybe they'll just paint over it, and people that buy the car can then just take a razor blade, scrape it off, and you're good. You're good to go.
There you go. Yeah,
I think it's another reason for them to. I think it's another reason for them to do it this way, because if it's factory tinted, then you can't just scrape it off with a razor blade. Because we've seen that in the past with like computers, where people will get the lower grade item, like Celerons with overclocking, or Athlons with the pencil unlock overclock, and other stuff like that, where everything is there, and you can just do it at home if you have some know-how. And I don't see, especially on something like that that's not software controlled, I don't see them allowing it. So we saw that with all the original Model X's that shipped. they all had the interior ambient lighting, not the same as the new ambient lighting, but they all had ambient lighting where you've got like the white coming out of the armrest and the puddle lights and everything, and or at least the Falcon doors all had it. And so one guy, he had his open and he didn't pay for the package that had it. He plugged it in, it lit up for a second and then turned right back off for life. Oh, hey, oh, wait.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that with a glass roof. So
Yeah, exactly. Lee
It'll be see.
Lee Moon says maybe it's duct tape. They could just peel it off. Possibly, possibly. Yeah, so it's again lots of stuff going on this week, and as Patrick mentioned, as we get closer to the 30th, it'll be interesting to see, which is only a week away, 6 days away. So by our next broadcast, we will be into fourth quarter. So we'll have to see if some stuff gets introduced, if there's any rumblings of that more affordable Model Y, or if we get any more leaks out there, or if Tesla actually, starts to talk about it, which they certainly could because we're beyond the 30th. But it will be interesting to see.
Will be, yeah. This is gonna be an interesting through the end of the year here. Like we saw, at the beginning of the show with the V4 native chargers, they were supposed to be here by the start of the second quarter, and they made it before the end of the year. But wow,
2 weeks, Casey. It'll be here in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, baby. 2 weeks. So, and then we saw leaks happening out of the design studio, and we knew that that there was going to be folks that weren't friendly to any sort of EV help, and so we knew that was coming, and so that everybody had planned around that in the industry, and then they went ahead and tried to pull it up a little faster, and that changed things for everybody, because you had the cars that had just started to qualify, like the Hyundais, and then other members of the Hyundai group, because they got the Georgia plant. Then you had ones like Tesla and GM and Ford who had planned a certain course, and then that got adjusted. And so I'm curious to see what we still get, and then what we get as a reaction to that scramble. And part of the Legacy's problem was they have to, similar to Tesla with the quarterly push, they sell to a lot, so they sell to the dealerships, and so at one point the manufacturer was fighting the EV incentives, and then the dealers were fighting the EV incentives, and then when they were gone, the dealers were like, oh no, we've got 36 days of inventory of these things, and they are going to cost another 10 grand. What are you doing to us? Yeah. Not like this.
Yeah, so again, we'll be covering it as it happens, and I think we will cut it off there this evening, but let's go to some shout outs. And Casey, what do you got for shout outs for us?
Well, catch us on the Tesla Life Express, and this is a good time to turn on the bell on YouTube, because who knows how many Tesla Life Expresses you're going to get in a week. Could get some bonuses, or we could hop on here for a special event like the Las Magas, where we got the Mega Pack, or Mega Block rather, and Mega Pack V3, or any number of surprise things that happen between the week. We might choose to jump on live, and so if the bell is rung, you can see them. On Sunday, come catch me over at youtube.com/Casey Green or x.com/gcustom, and we do Let's Chat with Casey and Friends, and it's very, very closely aligned to this topic. I do fly a little closer to the sun, and you do get some spicy takes sometimes, and then come back and catch us live again next week, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Very good. Patrick?
Well, I have just been poking around on supercharge.info, and Albany, Oregon has a V4.2 coming with over 1,000 amps feeder service. That is awesome. I can't wait for that one to come online. Maybe I'll do a little road trip down there and see how fast I can charge. It looks like the permits have been pulled in July, and it's moving along. So that is cool. And I have a new blog post up. It's very Tesla relevant. It's called "Why the Experts Are Wrong About Tesla Repeatedly." So it goes into the expert fallacy and how it works when you are in a very predictable linear field, but when you have innovation happening, that it completely breaks the system that they've learned, and so of course they're going to mispredict it. So if you're interested in that, check it out at carswithcords.net. And as always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. Thanks.
Very good. Very good. We want to
instead of being leaders, they become not even fast followers, they become slow followers.
Yes, they will argue that this change can't happen. It won't work. It's never been done that way, so it will fail. And someone coming in with an open mind who has no expertise in that field, if it's truly changing, is likely to be more correct than an expert. Which not all experts are that way, but there are a few.
Yeah. Then they end up saying, "Oh, that thing I said was impossible is doing great." So because of that, they don't mention that they said it was impossible. This thing is doing great. So that means that the stock is going to continue to go up, number go up good. Rather than looking at it like we do and saying, "Oh yeah, so this is done, and then something's going to happen, and this is why." It's going to be a good read. Take a look at carswithcords.net.
And this is just setting the groundwork, because my next one is a case study on one particular journalist who lives in my region. Stay tuned for that.
Okay. All right. If you haven't already, please press that subscribe button. Press that thumbs up. We would appreciate it. Helps us out immensely. And we want to thank Lee Moon for the music we use every week. And thanks, Lee, for being in the chat room and chatting with us. As well as who else did we have there? We had JT was in there with us. We had 010 was early with us as well.
That's all I see.
That's all that's listed
today.
If you're in the chat room, just say hello. You don't have to converse, but say hello. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
With that,
in the live chat when people come back and look at it later.
Yeah. With that, we're going to wrap it, and we'll get together next time and find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
Stay positive. Test negative.